So in this tutorial now, we're going to look at we've looked at level 1 and 2 in the BEC program or material, and now we're going to give you an overview of level 3. And we've moved from level 1, words and phrases, to level 2, common routines at sentence level structure. And level 3, if you envision the building process here, we're going to be moving as learners toward an involvement in the behavior of people, and we're also going to be trying to see and understand the underlying motivations that cause people to act the way that they do, what they appreciate in life, what they prioritize, what their life beliefs are about. And that's why we call level 3 sharing life stories. You can see the corresponding pages there that you should read. That we want to really be able to exchange life stories with the people that we're growing to know in a much deeper way now. And just as an encouragement to you, getting to this place in your ability in language feels very fulfilling when you can really begin to communicate well with people in relationship to their life stories. And so you'll see the way that the foundation that you've built, carefully built and painstakingly feeling like sometimes in levels 1 and 2 will be a help to you as you participate in these level 3 activities. Participant observation as one of those activities will be important for you. And then also, as I've said, the activity that will be primary and very significant will be actually sharing life stories with people. Participant observation will be less of a factor for you because at level 3 you've spent many hours participating in activities, and now you want to be beginning to dialogue more with people about them. And so in a sense you're re-experiencing or re-participating in the process of dialoguing or talking, sharing in conversation with people about those activities. And that's why the participant observation is still a part, but really the focus here is on the activity of sharing life stories. It's based on your increasing ability, both culturally and in language, to really converse with people. That you've moved from words and phrases to sentences, and now you're in a place where you're just beginning. At the beginning of the level, will feel like stumbling along in this, but you'll begin to talk with people in paragraph-length discourse about more complex things, more complex topics, more complex ways to describe their life experience, and asking them good questions, allowing you to participate with people on a deeper level. Share life stories, giving us a framework to continue our learning in that process. And so, as you think back, and I trust this is clear to you now, that we think about the fact that we comprehend first and then we speak at any given point, whether it's words and phrases or sentences or paragraphs or extended discourse for us later, that we always learn to comprehend first before we speak, and that'll be the same here, that you'll be focusing on hearing the stories of others and learning to understand them well before you try to reproduce them. But then in the second half of the level, as with the other levels, you as a learner will be telling life stories, both from your own experience, but also from the experience of those that you've heard tell their stories of life. And this is a natural progression that we're describing for you in a learning process of moving forward both culturally and linguistically, and then also socially or relationally with these folks that you're working with. Now, you'll notice here particularly that level 3 includes, and I'll say this and you'll be maybe shocked, but I trust you won't because you've read it, but it includes 4 hours per day in sharing life stories activity with others. And the BEC says it this way, or at least describes it in this kind of a summary fashion, that says at this point in your learning you're going to want to spend the majority of your time first listening to others as they share their stories with you about their lives. And just the comment there is that 4 hours is a lot of time. And so it will be, in almost every case, unreasonable for us to expect that we're going to be able to spend 4 hours per day with a single person in this activity. And so this is the place where that social network that we've been developing in our lives really pays off. That we want to now expand and include lots of others in the process of our learning and hearing and sharing life stories with lots of people. And so these learning plans are subdivided. They're divided into parts. And again, in the material, the divisions are clear so that you can be involved. It shows you practical ways to be involved with multiple persons each day as you exchange life stories with them. Now there's a key point that we need to always remember. Sometimes in practice or trying to apply ourselves in these ways, we lose it in cross-cultural situations. And that is, it's not always simple to find people in the community to spend regular time with and that want to spend regular time with us. And so sometimes you have to actively pursue. You arrange for an event to occur or a time to occur. It doesn't occur. The dates and times get changed, and you have to continually press and pursue and persist in setting up opportunities to find those people that do have time on their hands and would be happy to sit and spend time with you. It may not be what you predicted or expected, but you want to be able to find those opportunities, to listen to life stories. Maybe older retired people in some cases, or a bored shopkeeper who doesn't have a lot of work at that point, or a mother in a play group of kids sitting in a park, let's say, or a workmate or a colleague of yours as you develop a relationship and take up maybe an occupation locally, or a neighbor during an off time or a recreational time where his kids are playing in the park, or someone who maybe wants to learn some English and so takes up an interest and you're able to exchange language in that sense with them, or a person you're helping with an activity like helping them in their garden or voluntary work, people in a hospital maybe who have time on their hands. But if you think actively and creatively and intend to succeed in these ways, that you're proactive, that you'll find opportunities. And the key will be to keep challenging yourself. Don't allow yourself to settle for that one relationship alone or those two relationships alone, or your helper that you're so used to dealing with in level 1 and 2 alone, but to really expand your network of conversation partners, that you can see a number of people brought into this process to be a help to you. Now, that's a brief, as I've said, introduction to level 3. And there's a lot more to be covered there that you can read for yourself. But just worth mentioning again that at the end of this level, as with the other levels, there's a self-evaluation. And that self-evaluation does note the number of people that the learner should have spent time with. And so we'll challenge you there to really have invested time to identify that group of people to work with, hearing their stories and then telling your story to them, retelling their stories to them even. And so that idea of getting to know and spending time with a lot of people in the community is integrated into the self-evaluation. It's based on the eventual goal, and again, holding up that goal that we have of being able to communicate God's story, His purposes to those around us through a meaningful and deep relationship, that we want to speak truth into that community through a process of having adequately developed the ability to communicate. That's where level 3 is taking us.